Hi there, it's Nick Dutch yet again. Short video about necromancy today. It's a very misunderstood title, very misunderstood word. Naturally, human beings tend to think very much about the image associated with a word rather than its meaning and rather than a practical application of the subject at hand. The word necromancy essentially refers to divination from, or gaining knowledge from, in some manner, from dead people, from spirits of the dead, shades, demons, lesser beings, or other forms of disincarnate, either real or allegedly real entities of some description. And that's more or less as far as the description, as far as the definition of what necromancy really is can go. From the point of view of a practicing diviner, there are instances of necromancy which happen during a reading session, during any form of transcendental or spiritual exercises. In short, when a real or allegedly real or apparently real spiritual entity attempts to make contact or seems to make contact during the experience. This demonstrates that people who profess to be mediums or spirit mediums, whatever they're called this week, are in fact, and by that definition, necromancers. The methods of necromancy obviously are different because there are various different practicing schools of thought as far as necromancy goes. For those who prefer the ritual and ceremonial magical aspects, there would always be the drawing of the circle on the ground in chalk, the invocation of elements, the creation of a region such as a triangular shape in the circle where the disincarnate being could be invoked or evoked. A sub-definition of or subdivision of necromancy, should I say, is that of invoking or summoning forth the spirits of a living person who happens to be asleep or in a trance state at a different location at the time of performing the ritual. In either case, the predominant emotion that is used by the practitioner is normally that of love or connectedness with the deceased being or the spirits of the living person who is currently asleep, and thus to make the place welcoming so that one can have a direct experience of that particular spirit. When someone is learning mediumship, it is often suggested that they call forth or ask that their angels or archangels or higher beings or spirit guides appear to them and direct their experiences during the nocturnal hours of rest and sleep. This is also a form of necromancy, despite how innocuous it might sound. Necromancy itself is not necessarily anything evil. It is essentially performed, for instance, by Christians when they pray and get the experience of the presence of a saint, which is of course a human being that was once alive, is now dead, and has moved on to the hypothetical astral plane, spirit worlds, or heavenly realms. As far as training exercises are concerned, the training exercises for necromancy are no different to those for any form of divinatory experience, in the fact that you learn to shift your perception away from the here and now to reach out through time, through space, to try and sense things which are outside of yourself, and to do so in a state of mind which is altered from the norm by using any techniques that the practitioner feels most comfortable with and has experimented with. Typically speaking, the methods of creating the altered state of consciousness are peaceful and placid and passive, rather than for magic in which you are projecting a certain result out into the outer world, which is normally that of a enlivened or lively state, or a powerful spiritual state when you feel that you are blessed with the Holy Spirit or radiating the divine energy. So with your experience as a practicing occultist, you learn to differentiate between the states of mind that you're using, the perceptual tools that you're using, and to sense and discriminate between various different feelings that you get. Naturally, so that you can turn these states of mind on and turn them off with the help of concentration, meditation, willpower, and all the rest of it, all the other little tools that we have in our magical toolkits. Yes, I would say that when people play around with Ouija boards, that is also a variety of necromancy. However, as it's working through the ideomotor effects, there can be other factors which can be coming into play. Necromancy does not have to be done with using the methodology of John B, using the full circle invocation, but hey presto, what the hell, it's quite fun if you use the circle casting methodology initially, and then to work up from there. As far as banishment is concerned, or sending the being back, you simply use your voice. If you are summoning the spiritual force, chanting is a very practical tool, because it can provide a altered state of consciousness, and it can focus your consciousness on trying to make contact with that particular being or entity. If you can, or if you have previously worked out through intellectual and creative assessment the energies associated with that particular being, it would be wise, if you are using the ceremonial magic method, to choose the appropriate planetary signs, colors, colored candles, incenses, and anything else that you can possibly find which has a meaning or a feeling which is somehow connected to the meaning and feeling of that particular spiritual entity and the precise variety of divinatory experience you wish to have with it. Like with all forms of occultism, it is down to your experience more than anything else. If you have not experienced nor the state of consciousness of a serene, tranquil, and spiritual means or type, then I strongly recommend you get practicing with your prayer and meditation to learn how to alter your mind, and then to work on from there. Start small and then work upward. Remember that Aleister Crowley said, when he referred to familiar spirits, that we should make them familiar in terms of, or as, or like members of our own family. So it is recommended that you choose a small number of spirits or spiritual entities to work with, and then build up your practices with those spirits over time, so that in theory they get used to you and you get used to them. And for the moment I'll leave it at that. I'll probably do other videos later on to focus in a little more about what necromancy can mean to you.